Welcome in, everyone. Today, especially for my younger set, I'm going to do a video that is going to combine artistic work and a little bit of math, because believe it or not, how you work with your hands is going to affect your mind. So follow along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a oven-baked clay, and it's called Sculpting. You could get something like this where you are, or you could just use clay and let it harden in the air if you want. And the first thing you're going to do is take a chunk like this and begin to soften it up. There are many different techniques you can do to soften up your clay. You could squeeze it in your hands, or you could pinch it like this, or you could roll it on a surface or flatten it if you want. However you can get it soft is good. And once you get a pretty good soft piece, just get enough that'll fit comfortably in the palm of your hand and begin to get a round ball. Now this is kind of challenging in itself, because you might think, oh, I can get a ball really fast. But can you get one that's really gonna roll nicely? See, this looks pretty good, but watch what happens when I roll it. Oh, it's actually not bad. I'll keep going just a little bit farther and see if I can get this really round. I think the best way to do this is in the palms of your hand, because they're not perfectly flat. They're a little bit concave or dipped in, and you'll be able to roll the ball gently to get it nice and round. Once you do get it round though, we're gonna change it into a cube. So then we're gonna begin to flatten it. And what we're making today is dice. And if you've ever picked up dice, you know that they have 6 sides. And I want you to keep getting your sides flat. You can rotate the cube on the surface of the table or board that you're working with, or you could take a tool, the side of a knife or something like that, and gently pat it and see how square you can get those sides, because when you throw the die, it needs to be square in order to not land on the same number all the time. So I'm going to work on that for a few minutes until I get this nice and flat. So once you get the cube in 6 equal sides, you'll be ready to put your numbers on it. And let's start with the number 1. You could get some kind of a stick that has an end, maybe a knitting needle too, and just indent for your number 1. Now here's where the math comes in. Did you know that dice have 6 numbers on them, but every combination of the numbers that are opposite each other are going to equal 7? So you'll know that 1 plus what equals 7? 1 plus 6. And so if you turn this to the opposite side, that's where the 6 is going to go. So on this side, we'll go ahead and make the 6. Well, that looks a little bit sloppy, so I'll just smooth over that and try again. So you have 1 and 6 equals 7. And now we have another combination. Let's just rotate. Let's do 2 over here. 2 dots. And 2 plus what equals 7? 2 plus 5, right? So opposite the 2, the opposite side, that's where our 5's gonna go. So we'll put in the 3 and the 2. Okay, now we only have 2 surfaces left for what numbers that we don't have. We need a 3 and the opposite side will of course be a 4. And there you go, you have all the numbers on the dice. And what you'll do is bake this or let it harden in the air, and that way it'll be ready for you to play with. Now, you may need to reshape the edges a little bit before you do, so they're really square, because otherwise it's kind of a cheat dice and it'll always fall on certain numbers. But if it changes and falls on different numbers every time, you know it's a really good one. And remember, it doesn't really matter where you put the numbers as long as on the opposite surface you have a number that will equal 7. Here we go. Enjoy.